My name is Jennifer Terry. I am at Skyview Elementary School in 3rd grade, and I've been a teacher for 8 years, but I've worked for 15 years in early childhood education, so part of kind of like the whole spectrum. Okay. With today's lesson, it's fun because it's a part of a bigger unit study I'm doing on countries, and so what I want to accomplish with today is teaching them about the elements of culture that countries have and how those elements interact with the way they survive, so the way their stories are told and passed on from generation. That it changes based on your climate, on your ecosystem that you're in, so we're tying in the ecosystem, tying in natural resources, tying in culture, all to be a larger country study, that each country has those pieces and it makes them who they are, and it allows the children then, after we do this as a group, to then branch out and do small individual research projects on countries. Westland. Of course he's miserable, moaned Wesley's mother. He sticks out. Like a nose, snapped his father. Listening through the heating vent, Wesley knew they were right. He was an outcast from the civilization around him. He alone, in his... I want you to turn and talk and tell your neighbor, what do you notice about the kind of person Wesley is?
He's not really like all the other teachers.
2, 1, you're done. I'm going to choose a name. Aisha, please share your thinking.
Wesley's a creative person and unique in his own way.
Okay, let's hear from somebody else. Culture. I want you to spend one moment on your own checking to see if any of these things gave you new information. And then we'll share out. What new information did you pick up? Talk protocol where you're going to share with your partners something new that you just learned. Ready? Teach.
Listen. He called it Steve. So I have he sells oil for money, and he made the flute without with the plants, and he was renaming constellations, and he made a row of pockets, and the flower-shaped lab.
Stop. What information did you give? I'm going to pull a name. I want you to share. Quinn.
I learned that he made his own intelligence system and that he made his own jobs and clothes.
So okay, your job. We are now going to move to filling out the part about culture about yourself. This is going to be a little harder. We need to figure out what are the elements of culture in your life. To do this, we're going to do the walkabout protocol. You have 3 minutes to walk and talk with your partner, and I don't want you writing, you're just going to talk it out. What are the elements of culture in your life? What are the types of food that you and your family eat? What are the types of clothing choices do you and your family make? What music is from your culture? Now, we know that at the beginning of the year, we talked about how we're all from different places, right? We have 23 different countries represented in our classroom. We have 23 different backgrounds and heritages. So that's just from your family.
My family's oh wait, no, my tradition. That's how we do happy birthday, and for all artwork, I like drawing on a. We listen to pop rock music. We speak English.
conversation out is 3 minutes to do the moment of silence protocol. So we did the group work together, we did partner work, and now we're going solo, right? So I'm going to give you the count of 5 to get back to your desk, and I'm going to start the timer. 3 minutes to get as many things written down under the me column as you can, because we've already talked about them. They should be right there, ready to go. Jack?
Can we put our clipboard
Oh, you'll need those stuff. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Begin. Time's up. Please look around the room and make a silent appointment. Make a silent appointment. When I say go, you need to go find your partner and share 3 things you wrote down. Ready? Raise your hand if you need a partner. Find one. There's 4 of you. Anna, Kyle needs a partner. Okay. Ready? Go.
So my food is at Tito's. My games are chess practice and my so I actually did it based on my religion. On food I did tomatoes, and then in games a very popular game in Ireland is Mancala. I love that game. In traditions, we usually celebrate St. Patrick's Day because it's basically from Ireland. So, and then the music is probably Christmas because we do foods a lot in Ireland for like the Ireland parade and stuff. Do you know how to play? Yes. Back.
Group together, but usually it was 2 against 1, so it's kind of unfair. We're going to move on. Here we go. We talked about culture, but now I want you to really open up that imagination, and I want you to think about the ecosystems we've been talking about. Oh, I know. Ecosystems. Now think about Westlandia, and now what if you picked Wesley up and you stuck Wesley in the desert?
What?
Yes. How would his culture be different if he was in the desert? This is how we're going to do this activity. We're going to use round robin. So you're going to go back to your desk. You're going to choose a writer. Everybody flips the yellow sheet over, okay? The writer will flip the yellow sheet over, and the writer will write on the yellow sheet. You don't need to get anything else out. Whoever is the writer, I will check in after 30 seconds. You need to have your writer chosen. Then you will use the round robin protocol, where you go around and take turns sharing your thinking. Now I know we've been struggling with this, so make sure you take turns. The person to the left of the writer starts. After you have 4 minutes, only 4 minutes to get everybody round the robin sharing, your writer needs to have at least 3 things written down that would be different in Westlandia if he was in the desert ecosystem.
Alright, so let's see. She wouldn't be able to grow certain types of plants because you would really have to eat. No, you would have to open a cactus to get water. And doing that would be hard. Yeah. You can't just punch it and make it open. It would
Listen up. Doing the numbered heads together the number that I roll, that person is going to stand up at each table and they are going to share one of their 3 ideas. 3. Person 3. Okay, we're gonna, person 3, stand up. Person 3, stand up. Well, the journey's been kind of, it's not been kind of fun. It's been very fun. I've loved learning about CLR and about what it actually means beyond the book, beyond, you know, a new innovation or a district initiative. It's something that's become quite personal to me, and I've loved to look at it through the lens of how it impacts each of my students. I've always been a teacher who is very relationship driven, and I do home visits with my kids, but the CLR piece just adds that layer of allowing me to bring it then all back and tie it in together and allow who my kids are to become part of me as a teacher for that year. And then I know I'll get a new group in and we'll do it all over again, but that piece has been kind of like the missing link, kind of like the thing I was missing to tie everything together. The classroom management piece has been eye-opening because I feel like I started way more traditional, I'm the teacher, you're the student type of thing, and learning how to become a better teacher and acknowledging that those things do make me a better teacher, allowing me to engage my student, become more student-centered versus teacher-centered. And I look forward to tying that into strengthening the vocabulary and the literacy piece as those next steps.